Hi, Julia. So, Julia, welcome to our internal coach network. For everybody who doesn't know Julia, this is Julia Menaul. She is a master executive coach and coach supervisor, and she has been coaching now for 20 years. So she's got loads of brilliant experience, and we're really delighted to have her working with the internal coach community because she's got so much she can share. And we want to just do this video really to help people understand before they come to a supervision session what supervision is for, how it's going to work, what they can expect, and what it is that they can prepare for so they get the most from the time. So the idea is this video is a really short soundbite, and Julia is just going to answer those key questions. And what I would like you to do is watch this before you come to supervision each time, just to remind yourself about what you can get from the time with us. So Julia, hello.
Hello.
So the first question that I'm sure a lot of people will want to get their heads around is, what is supervision?
Okay. Oh, I could talk all day about what supervision is, but in terms of in a nutshell, one of the things that I like to think about is if you put a hyphen between super and vision, supervision. Yeah, and it's about looking at your coaching work from perhaps a higher level and looking at it from all sorts of different angles, and doing that with somebody who can help you see it in a different way, shining a light on it from underneath, from the side, and from above. So in that way, it's similar to coaching. It's exactly what you would do as a coach. But one of the things that I like to use is a mnemonic, which sort of helps to sort of encapsulate it a little bit more. So that's normative, formative, and restorative. So the normative bit of supervision is the going to supervision and talking to your supervisor about your work and go, am I actually doing this right? Am I doing it to a good standard? Am I ethical? Am I actually safe? And do no harm to my client, which I guess is the mantra there. And for most people, that's seeking reassurance. Most coaches are doing a really good job, but we all sometimes lack that confidence, and we want to just go, do you know, I did this the other day. Yeah. Was that all right? So that's the normative bit. The formative bit is am I actually getting better as a coach as time goes on? Because when we've done our coaching qualification, as each year goes on, we don't always get the feedback we need to see whether we're actually developing our competencies. So that's the sort of development aspect of supervision, which I think most people probably understand that supervision is for, is that developing, becoming a better quality coach. Yeah. And then the restorative aspect is that supportive piece, where actually coaching can be quite tough sometimes. You're listening to some tough things, you get some emotional dust on you, and it's very easy to burn out. And that's where you go and wash the dust off in supervision. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. That's really helpful. So if you were distinguishing between supervision and CPD, Julia, because we've talked about what it is, but what is it not?
Yeah, good question. And I think for supervision is more about, it's a blank piece of paper. You arrive and the agenda is yours. Whereas I think with CPD, often there's a lot more input. So yes, you can get continuing professional and personal development from supervision, but it's less about, this is a theme that we're going to talk about today, input from somebody like me, slides, that type of traditional CPD workshop scenario. That's quite separate.
And that's something, so just for members who are watching this now, we have specific CPD CPD sessions that we run. We have myself and Susanna, who founded ICN, who run those, as well as other guest specialists in certain coaching tools. So we really want these supervision sessions to be, as you say, a really brilliant support for people so they can do. I love the way that you've talked about that: normative, formative and restorative. That's fantastic. And in your opinion, Julia, why is it that it's so important to have supervision as a coach?
Yeah, it's interesting, because I think most coaches probably appreciate that supervision is a is a great development opportunity. You know, it's somewhere to go and talk to somebody who does know their onions and's perhaps been there and you know, got the t-shirt. But actually, supervision is a great place to sort of protect yourself and your client. So it's to offset risk. Yeah. So that, you know, there are often times where there may be things that you know, could be tricky if they're not dealt with, and spotting issues before they happen. And it keeps you honest and stops you colluding with your client. Yes. And where's that fine line with coaching and counselling? That's another good reason to have supervision as well, is to help you to deliver that sort of internal supervisor inside, so that you're looking all the time at your own work.
Yeah, so it's just a really great way of, as you say, keeping yourself healthy, staying on the right track, making sure you're doing a good job, but importantly, being really professional. And, you know, a lot of organizations will expect that you can show that you have regular supervision as part of your practice as a coach. So I do think it's important that, you know, we invest in it as coaches and keep ourselves on track. Okay, fabulous. That's been really helpful. So could you just tell us, Julia, what would you expect a usual supervision session to cover, the sort of the style of it, so people can prepare and get themselves ready for that?
Okay, yeah. So specifically, a group supervision session,
yes,
is different every time, because if different people are showing up every time, it's a unique moment in time with all those individuals. But there's this almost a general outline that happens on most sessions. So those would be a check-in, so that we are noticing how we're arriving on that day. That gets coaches used to checking in on what's going on in the head, what's going on in the body, which is a great discipline. Then we would do, you know, find out what sort of dilemmas, questions, things that people want to share from their coaching work. And often that's about us as presenting, you know, a piece of casework from our coaching client work, and working with that and sharing the learning, and apportioning the time so that everybody gets an opportunity to perhaps bring something and talk about, you know, what they want an answer to. And then at the end, reflecting on our learning. And that could be from somebody else's case, not necessarily just from your own. So that's sort of like the general framework, but obviously a lot happens within that each time.
Yes. Okay. So what, for people to get the most out of coming to supervision, have you got some advice for them? Because I'm just, what you've said is, you know, you've got to be bringing something, and most people will bring something, but actually sometimes you're just stimulated by the discussion and it triggers things in your minds when you're listening to other people, and you think, oh yeah, I remember when that was a challenge for me. So I just would like a little bit of advice for people so they come ready to make the most of the time with you, Julia.
Yeah. And I think if you're thinking, oh, I can't think of anything, or I don't know what I should be bringing. Some good questions is to just sit and think, okay, what's been going well with my coaching work just lately, and why is that? You know, who are the clients that I work well with? What's not been going so well lately, and do I know why that is? And what clients do I find quite tricky? And then from that reflection, a great question is, what am I curious about? As I look at those answers, what am I curious about? And am I holding a question about it? So it could be somebody who's currently a client, who you're thinking, yeah, I just really find them difficult to work with. Or it could be a past piece of work that might be helpful to just unpack and go, why did that go the way that it went, in order to learn something, not just for that client, but for future clients, of course.
Okay, so really thinking about where you are now, what's going well, what's perhaps not going quite as well. And if there's nothing immediately that comes to mind, think about past challenges or potential future challenges that might be making you feel a bit anxious.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Okay, well, I think that gives people a really good sense of what supervision is, why it's important, how sessions will run, and also how they can get the most from it. So thanks very much for your time, Julia, and we look forward to seeing you in our supervision sessions live.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.